Hello, and welcome to the Reluctant EV Owner YouTube channel. This video covers my experience of installing a home EV charger. I appreciate that my circumstances are probably a bit unusual in that I'm actually installing a home charger at my father's house first. This is because I was staying away from home looking after my father. It's 300 miles away from my home, and I was in a diesel car. I didn't want to be stranded 300 miles away from home if there were rationing applied to diesel, and therefore I decided to buy the electric vehicle whilst at my father's and therefore get an electric charging home charger installed at my father's house. I considered various home chargers, but one of the key decisions was that I wanted it to be untethered. I didn't really want the big cable there all the time. I've got a cable with the Tesla that can be used, so I thought it would be neater to have a untethered charger. That narrowed the field quite a lot, and the final decision came down to Ohm or Cord. Cord was being sold through Halfords, which is a trusted brand. It was also a little bit cheaper and came with a 5-year guarantee. I paid a total of £854.10 for the charger and installation. Prices have gone up slightly, so they're a bit more expensive now, but typical install is around the £900 mark. My father's house is a pretty typical modern-ish detached house from the 1970s. It has an attached garage, and so the fuse box and everything was in the garage, the electric supply to the garage, and the wall box was going to be mounted on the garage on the outside. It was really easy, typical install, probably the simplest you can get. I was therefore expecting no additional charges over and above the £850 that I've paid for a typical install. And that proved to be the case. It didn't cost me any more money. I'll mention at this point that my own house is a 17th century cottage where the electric supply comes into the kind of middle of the house under the stairs, because it's been extended several times. That's probably going to be much more difficult and much more expensive, but I'll worry about that another time. I went through the Halfords website, found the untethered cord charger, selected the colour, answered a few simple questions about installation and home ownership, off-street parking, and added it to my basket. Then I proceeded to check out and pay. All very simple. This triggered a welcome email from Cord informing me that one of their installation partners would be in touch shortly, and links to useful guides as to what the process was, what would happen between now and installation day, and what would happen on installation day itself. All of which I duly read and felt very well informed. I set up an account with Cord online and followed the instructions, which included a survey. The survey comprised answering a few simple questions and then recording some videos which showed the location of the power inlet, the fuse box, and where I wanted the charger to be located. It included some information about earthing of the water or gas pipes, so I did have to do a little bit of digging around for where those were, and I think I found an earthing, but I did put in the comments of the survey that I wasn't totally sure, and that was discussed later on. After submitting the survey, I got an email confirmation that they'd received it and that they would reply within 48 hours. In my case, they actually approved all of this within 3 hours. The confirmation email said that somebody would be in touch within 3 to 5 working days to arrange the installation appointment. Cord phoned me the same day to arrange an installation date, and they could have done it 3 days later, but unfortunately I wasn't going to be around, so I agreed a date which was the week after. I received email confirmation of the date and time, along with some additional information and instructions, and notification that the actual charger itself would arrive in the post 48 hours before the installation appointment. The charger arrived within a couple of days and I put it in the garage waiting for the appointment date. I received several other emails from Cord, kind of useful stuff about how to get the best tariff and things like that. A lot of it was kind of marketing material, some of which was kind of useful. So far, so good. It was all following the information that had been provided. Step 1, home survey and review, completed. Step 2, DNO approval. That's the distribution network operator. They've got to give approval. I had an email confirming that they had approved, so I think step 2 was okay. In step 3, installation, it was now the scheduled date was agreed, so I was just waiting for that date. I wasn't really expecting to do anything else. So I was surprised to get an email from Northern Power Grid, which I only opened the email because I realised I was having some EV work done at my father's house, and it was something to do with power in the north. So I thought, oh, I wonder what that's about. It notified me that they had missing information. So it seems somebody had provided them, presumably Cord, with some information about this installation, but they didn't have all the information they needed, so they'd come directly to me to ask for more information. They needed authority to act, so the homeowner needed to approve this installation. There was a form attached, and so I completed the form to the best of my ability and sent it back to them. The details that I put for the representative that was going to do the installation was Cord EVs. A few days later, I got an email saying that the information I provided them wasn't correct because the representative I provided, Cord EV, didn't match their records. So they were asking me for some information that they already had, and yet I didn't really know. I thought I was getting Cord, but no, Cord had subcontracted to another company, so the representatives that I had to put into the form to tell Northern Power Grid was actually the subcontractor, not Cord. So I had to redo the form, find out who that subcontractor was, and then send it again back to Northern Power Grid. The next day, I got a response from Northern Power Grid saying that they had received the correct information. Then the day after that, I got another email from them which said that there wasn't anything that they needed to do, which was probably just as well as the installation date was rapidly approaching. Installation date arrived and the engineer arrived at the allotted time. They sent text messages to let me know the exact slot closer to the time, and they were at the house for about 3 hours. It took them about 2 hours to do the installation. The electricity supply was off for about 20 minutes during that time, but he gave us all fair warning 10 minutes before, and so it all went very, very smoothly. Once the installation was complete, the engineer ran a couple of tests and everything was good. He then sat down with me and walked me through the Cord app and how to use all of the features. Oh yeah, I did have to provide him with the Wi-Fi ID and password so that he could actually connect the charger to the Wi-Fi network. So they walked me through the different types of charging, and it's set to instant, but you can do scheduling. Talked me through the fact that when you plug it in, there's a randomized delay because of some regulation, but you can hit a boost button to get it to start immediately. They explained about the charger protection, so I've got to give authorization to the app and the cable lock so that it locks in place for more security. They then provide me with 2 little RFID cards, which can also be used to authorize when somebody plugs in. We then added some cost information from the tariff that my father is on, and that was useful later on when we've done a bit of charging, so you can actually see when you've charged how much it's cost, and you can produce graphs for that. All in all, I think that the installation process was pretty painless, other than the Northern Power Grid little detour that just seemed a bit unnecessary. I guess there's some bureaucracy there somewhere. I wasn't really told about it, so it came as a bit of a surprise. Therefore, I could have quite easily missed that email, but I didn't. I gave them the information, and I really don't like the fact the bureaucracy was that I had to provide them information that they already knew, when really all they wanted was a signature authorizing some work to go ahead. Had I been remiss in providing that information? Could that have introduced delay? Possibly. Certainly, had I accepted the first slot that Chord offered me, which was 3 days after I'd actually put the order in, then I think that the Northern Power Grid bit might have actually caused delays. I can't say for sure, but it feels like it did. So having the 10 days between putting the order in and actually getting the installation seemed to be sufficient time for the power distribution operator, what they're called, to do their work. Would this have caused problems had I tried to get the installation done sooner? I don't know, but it's certainly something to consider. Thank you for watching this video. This is The Reluctant EV Owner. Please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please add some comments. Until next time, thank you.